Romance of Sui and Tang Dynasties, Chapter 23.
The source kicks off saying, "Valor does not beg for pity, the chivalrous do not take advantage of danger. When meeting, they value righteousness, treating life and death as equal to a wave of the hand."
Wow, so that's the standard, our main guy, Shubao. We'll call him Shubao. That's what he's supposed to live up to.
That's the ideal.
But when we first meet him here, he's not exactly living up to it. The story picks up right after he's left the magistrate's office.
Yeah, he's just had this really severe public beating, a flogging. The text uses the term staff wounds, which tells you it's official punishment. Bureaucratic.
Painful, obviously, but it sounds like there's more to it.
Oh, absolutely. The physical pain is there, sure.
Yeah.
But the real issue is the crushing humiliation. His honor has just taken a massive hit.
And then someone tries to help him.
Right. The community elder, Zhang Shizhang, sees him looking down and invites him over to his son's new wine shop. Offers to warm a pot to dispel gloom. It's a nice gesture, showing support.
A classic act of community kindness. But Shubao doesn't seem comforted.
Not really. He sits down, tries to accept the drink, but then he just starts weeping. Really uncontrollably.
And the elder assumes it's the pain from the beating, or maybe frustration about not catching these bandits he's after.
That's what Zhang Shizhang thinks, yeah. But Shubao corrects him. He makes it clear that tears aren't mainly about the physical pain, it's the deep, profound humiliation. The shame, or chiru.
Okay, we need to understand that shame aspect, chiru. Why is it so devastating in this context?
It's huge. In a society shaped by Confucian values, this kind of public disgrace, it's almost worse than death. It ties into this idea of the parent's bequeathed body.
Ah, right. Explain that a bit.
Basically, the idea is your body is a sacred gift from your parents, your ancestors. It's your duty, your filial duty, to protect it, keep it from harm or defilement.
So when the state, the bureaucracy, subjects his body to this official humiliation, this public flogging...
It's not just an injury. It's like he's failed his entire lineage. He's dishonored his parents. It's a deep, fundamental shame that goes way beyond just, messing up at work.
And something else is eating at him too, right? Some past advice.
Yes, exactly. This makes him think back to his good friend Shan Jiangxin. Years ago, Shan Jiangxin apparently gave him a load of money, hundreds of taels of gold, and some pretty blunt advice. He specifically warned Shubao, don't be a flunky at the public gate and avoid seeking honor under crimson gates.
Seeking honor under crimson gates. That sounds poetic. What does it really mean? Not just don't get a government job.
No, it's deeper than that. It's a warning against chasing fame and position through the official state system. The crimson gates are like the halls of power. Military commands chasing a generalship.
So Shan Jiangxin wasn't against ambition itself, maybe, just against relying on this system.
Pretty much. He saw the vulnerability that comes with depending on the state, on bureaucratic favor, and Shubao admits right there weeping that he ignored that advice. He says he was gong ming sinji, too eager, too hasty for fame under some general.
And the irony is just brutal. The very path he took for fame led directly to this public humiliation, damaging his body, his reputation, his filial duty, everything.
Crushing irony. And the shame he feels towards Shan Jiangxin, the friend whose advice he ignored, is immense. He can barely face the thought of seeing him again.
Little does he know.
Exactly. The narrative kind of hints that Shan Jiangxin is actually on his way right then, traveling to celebrate Shubao's mother's birthday. The very person he feels he's let down is heading towards him.
Okay, so Shubao's at his lowest point, reflecting on all this shame, and then boom, the outside world crashes in.
Yep. Enter Fan Hu, sometimes called Fan Jianwei. He bursts in, interrupts this moment of vulnerability with some urgent news.
And this is where the misinformation engine starts up.
Instantly. It's like 7th century social media, pure gossip. Fan Hu says that over by the West Gate, the neighbors are all talking. They've seen about 15 large horses at Jiao Renfu's place.
15 horses is a lot for a regular visit.
Right. And the people with them are wearing strange clothing and speaking a different language or dialect. Odd clothes, odd language, lots of horses.
Red flags everywhere in a tight-knit community.
Totally. So the neighbors immediately jump to a conclusion. It must be those bandits everyone's looking for. Chen Da and Niu Jin, the guys who robbed the imperial shipment.
And for Shubao, hearing this, it's like a switch flips.
Oh, instantly. He sees this not just as his duty, but as good news. This is his chance. Capture these guys, redeem his honor, wipe away the shame of the flogging. Redemption is right there.
So he thanks the elder, promises to come back later, and just bolts out. He goes from weeping victim to focused warrior in 2 seconds.
That shift is crucial. He sees the path back. So he and Fan Hu head to the west gate, and sure enough, there's a big crowd milling around. Low-level Yamen runners, villagers, just curious onlookers.
And they recognize Shubao, even after his public disgrace.
They do. And interestingly, they immediately offer help. They see him, know who he is, and they're like, we've got strong guys, we can help. Shows he still commands some respect.
Okay, so he's got backup available. He's desperate for this win. Why doesn't he just charge in? He stops Fan Hu, right? Tells him not to go in yet.
Yes, and this is where you see the strategist, not just the desperate guy. Even with redemption dangling right there, he stays cautious. Jia Runfu's place has the gates shut, but they notice the main gate isn't actually locked.
Suspicious, maybe.
Could be. But Shubao insists they can't just barge in together. His thinking is pure tactics. If these are the bandits, they're desperate outlaws. Going in 2 on 15 or however many is suicide. They need a plan. Need a rescuing hand if things go bad.
The double fists cannot beat 4 hands idea.
Exactly. So he comes up with this really smart multi-step plan right on the spot.
Okay, break it down. Step 1.
Step 1, he goes in alone, reconnaissance, keep a low profile, see what's actually happening inside.
Risky but necessary. Step 2.
Step 2, the signal. If he confirms it is danger, he's not going to yell and alert everyone inside prematurely. He'll give a specific prearranged signal, a whistle. Take your Xiaozi.
Subtle. Okay, step 3. Fan Hu's role.
Crucial. Fan Hu stays outside. When he hears that whistle, then he springs into action. His job is to rally that crowd waiting outside.
And step 4, containing them.
Right. Use whatever's handy barriers, fences to block off the streets, the alleyways. Trap the suspects inside Jia Runfu's compound. Prevent any escape.
That's actually a brilliant tactical plan. Cautious entry, clear signal, organized external containment. If the intelligence was right, this would be textbook.
Absolutely textbook. It really heightens the suspense, knowing he's got this perfect plan ready to go based on neighborhood chatter.
So he slips inside. What does he find?
He gets into the inner courtyard, described as a large open well area. And it is chaos. There's a big banquet happening, loud music, drums playing.
Not exactly a secret bandit hideout vibe.
Not at all. And the place is packed with these impressive-looking guests. Strong-waisted, tiger-bodied heroes, the text says. Dressed well, it's noisy, crowded, he can barely see or hear clearly. He's trying to peek past people without the host spotting him.
He must be thinking, what is going on here? This doesn't look like desperate criminals.
He's definitely confused. He sees these imposing figures, but the noise, the music, he can't make out faces or conversations clearly. It's still potentially dangerous. He's alone, outnumbered.
And then the music stops.
Yes, suddenly the music cuts out. The lamps are lit. Everything gets clear. He scans the main figures at the feast, and he sees someone who looks incredibly familiar.
Shan Xiangsun.
He thinks it looks like Shan Xiangsun, but he dismisses it almost immediately. Thinks, no, couldn't be. If Shan Xiangsun was in town, he'd come straight to my house first, right?
Oh, the denial. His brain is trying to reconcile what his eyes are seeing with what he expects.
Exactly. That professional duty, that brilliant plan he just made, is about to smash headlong into that deep personal shame he was feeling just an hour before.
And then it's confirmed.
Undeniably. The host of the party calls out, clear as day, "Member Shan, please be seated."
Oh, man. The floor must have dropped out from under him.
Has to have.
Yeah.
The suspected dangerous imperial bandit is his best friend, his mentor figure, Shan Jiangsun. The guy whose advice he blew off. The guy he feels so much shame towards.
And Wang Bodang is there too, another hero friend.
He spots Wang Bodang too, yes. And the whole picture just snaps into focus. This isn't a bandit meeting. It's a party, probably arranged by Wang Bodang. All these heroes are here a day early to celebrate his mother's birthday tomorrow.
The strange clothes were just fancy party attire for heroes. The 15 horses belonged to the guests arriving. The strange language was maybe just dialects he couldn't place over the noise.
Precisely. The entire dangerous scenario, the whole basis for his tactical plan, just evaporates. It was all a misunderstanding built on gossip and appearances.
What must he have felt? Relief, horror at what he almost did.
Probably a massive wave of both. Relief that he didn't whistle, didn't trigger the trap.
Yeah.
Horror that his perfect plan would have meant arresting, maybe even killing his dearest friend and honored guests. A total moral catastrophe narrowly averted.
So he needs to get out of there fast before anyone sees him.
Right. He ducks back out, heart probably pounding, hoping nobody'd notice him skulking around. He finds Fan Hu outside, waiting, hand probably metaphorically on the whistle cord, eager for the signal.
And Shubao can't just say, oops, false alarm. He needs to manage this.
He shifts gears instantly. From recon strategist to damage control expert, he immediately turns on Fan Hu, almost aggressively, starts scolding him.
Blames Fan Hu for the bad intel.
Totally. He basically says, "You idiot, why are you making a big deal out of nothing? Don't you recognize people?" He completely flips the script, makes it Fan Hu's fault for misinterpreting things.
That's quick thinking. Does he try to make it sound plausible?
Yeah, he even throws in this bit like, "You should know member Shan. He's the one who generously funded your travels recently."
Yeah.
Just layering the cover story, making Fan Hu seem clueless.
Wow. Misdirection 101.
Yeah.
But the crowd is still there, right? Ready to block the streets.
That's the critical part. He has to diffuse the situation with the crowd to protect his friends inside. Can't have the Yamen getting involved now, ruining the party, potentially arresting heroes based on a bogus rumor.
So he lies to them too.
Absolutely. He walks over to the waiting crowd and smooths everything over. Assures them, "Hey, it's no big deal, nothing to worry about here. These aren't bad people."
And explains who it really is.
Tells them straight up. "That's the famous member Shan from Luzhu. He and his friends are just here early for my mother's birthday tomorrow." Completely diffuses the tension. Sends the crowd away.
Shen Chengsen, he's at the head table, the chief seat, naturally. And he spots something. Well, disturbing. He sees this big man kind of hiding near the edge of the courtyard trying to slip away unseen. So he immediately sends his guy, Jia Runfu, to check it out. Find out who was watching from the shadows.
And the fact that Jiangxin even noticed, right, and cared enough to send someone, that's the first clue about how deep their bond actually is. Because that big man, well, that's Shubao. And he is just paralyzed by shame. When Jia Runfu catches up to him, Shugao's refusal is absolute. He won't go in. He explains, "Look, I only came to make sure Jiangke was really here, but I cannot face my old friends like this."
And the core of it, the real root of that shame, it's specific, isn't it? It's his clothes.
Absolutely. He's wearing what the text calls the Dio de Yufu, the comparison clothes. It's basically the uniform from his current job, which is likely pretty low ranking. These clothes are like a billboard advertising his reduced financial status. And that forces him to feel that deep Shijianguren, that shame in seeing old acquaintances. It's a physical symbol of his hardship.
Wow, that's such a powerful bit of narrative shorthand. Because we, the readers, we know Qin Shubao's backstory. We know he hit rock bottom, had to sell his prized horse in Luzhu just for food money. So if he walks into this fancy banquet wearing these low-status clothes, he's not just embarrassing himself. He's kind of embarrassing his rich host, Shan Jiangshan, too, by basically showing the whole world, hey, look, your brother is struggling.
Exactly right. His shame isn't purely personal, it's a social debt he feels he owes his host.
Yeah.
He's letting the side down, in a way. And this is precisely why Jia Runfu, the ultimate sort of social fixer in this scene, is so vital. He doesn't just pat him on the back and say, "Come on in." He acts decisively, immediately. He solves the actual problem with 2 brand new suits of clothing. Now, the story is they were meant for Chan's mother's birthday the next day, but, well, they get handed over instantly.
So Jia Runfu steps in and provides like a temporary status upgrade, a shield almost. Why is it so important that he does it, Jia Runfu, and not Shan Jiangshan directly?
Well, think of Jia Runfu as the oil in the social gears here. He's the guy who can handle the logistics of quick wardrobe change without the main host having to, stop the whole party. And without making a huge, probably even more awkward public fuss about Shubao's shame, he just quietly removes the status barrier so the host and guests can move on to the real issue, which is going to be the seating. Because the harsh truth in this world is that the right clothes, the right perceived status, they're basically your entry ticket. Yeah. And Renfu just provided that tippet.
Status acquired via a quick change of silk. Okay. So Shubao's properly dressed now, the appearance crisis is over, and we pivot immediately to the next crisis, etiquette.
And Shubao handles this part, initially at least, with real control. He makes his formal entrance, he's meticulous, pays his respects properly, does the 8 reciprocal bows to his old gutties like Wang Bodang, and then offers new formal bows to the guys he's meeting for the first time. He's projecting this image of perfect, elevated composure.
But then the host, Shan Xiangxin, tries to honor him, suggests they sit together right there at the chief seat, and Shubao refuses. Now, I would thought, especially after being late in the whole clothes fiasco, accepting that top spot would be the only polite move.
But see, that would be Sun King Fei sacrificing ritual for personal feeling. And Shubao just can't allow that, not publicly. This is where he kind of draws his line in the sand. He makes that critical statement. Jonesy loves people with virtue, but one must not neglect ritual for the sake of emotion.
So what's the thinking there? Is he being genuinely humble, or is this part of the expected ritual, like the ritual refusal?
Oh, it's absolutely a calculated move within the ritual system. Definitely. His argument is that because he holds a position, he's a Bamsian, a sort of partial host in his own local area. Well, he can't just share the main chief seat with the primary host. That would mess up the whole hierarchy. So he's asserting, look, my status is high enough for an honored seat, yes, but not so high that I can just ignore the spatial rules that define everyone's rank here.
That's fascinating. So protocol isn't just about being polite. It's about literally mapping out where everyone fits, making sure everyone knows their place relative to everyone else. But Shan Jiangshan pushes back, right? He insists. He wants to catch up, wants that Zuzujian Guozi seeing that time to talk about everything that's happened since they last met. And Shangshan wins the formal argument. They do sit together.
He wins the argument about where to sit, yes. But Shubao gets the last and, frankly, brilliant move. This is the moment that just completely reframes their whole interaction. It's genius, really. As soon as they're seated together, Shubao orders his attendants to basically strip the table, get rid of the fancy fruit arrangements, take down the high decorations, the gaoza gong, all the stuff that signals pomp and luxury. And crucially, he has his own chair swapped out for a low stool. A geez where.
Wait, taking away his own chair and putting in a low stool, that feels like a huge statement, a massive subversion. What were those high decorations actually doing to the conversation, physically?
They're barriers. That's what they are.
Yeah.
Everything high, the decorations, the fancy table skirt, the zhu wei, even just the height of a formal chair. It all physically forces the two men to sit further apart, to kind of look over things at each other. It keeps the whole vibe formal, distant. So by stripping away the fancy stuff and literally lowering his own seat, Shubao physically dismantles the barriers of hierarchy of wealth that were separating them.
I see. So he's saying, okay, fine, I have to perform the ritual by sitting here with you, but I refuse to let the physical structure of that ritual dictate how close we actually are. They get to sit duizo face to face, truly talk.
Precisely. It's like they're saying, look, we are high-status heroes and we'll maintain the formal setup for everyone else's sake, sure. But between us right here, our friendship trumps all that empty ritual, that Jew. It's this symbolic act of leveling the playing field right there at the head table, allowing for genuine, intimate connection. And the scene is set now, right? 15 men, 8 tables, the wine's flowing. It's officially primed for brotherhood. The text even throws in that little Tang poem, remember? The fine wine smells of turmeric, served up in amber light. If the host can make the guest drunk, where could possibly be a foreign land? It's basically saying, here, among brothers, we are home.
That's an incredible piece of negotiated intimacy. Really clever. But even after all that careful negotiation at the top table, not everyone else is getting the same level of respect, right? Which brings us to the next layer of social sorting happening at this banquet.
Indeed it does. And the source material is pretty blunt about the character differences among the guests. You've got the ones described as warm, warm and refined, like Wang Bodang, guys who have the demeanor of great families. And then you have the others, like the host Shan Jiangshan himself, who are maybe kuke, hilhaki, rough but heroic. Got that heroic spirit, but maybe lack the polish.
And then there's Cheng Yaojin, or Cheng Ziji, the guy who gets completely misread.
Oh yeah, Yaojin. He's sitting with Yu Junda over at the third table on the left. And the text describes him as having yipian kule, basically one piece of crudeness, just rough around the edges. And that label, that perception of crudeness, it's absolutely pivotal because it immediately shapes how Qi and Shubao, our protagonist, sees him and treats him.
Right. This feels like the real injustice of the banquet, doesn't it? Shubao just overcame the shame tied to his own status symbol, his clothes. But now he's turning around and inflicting a similar kind of status-based judgment, maybe even shame, on another guy.
It's a harsh irony, absolutely. When Shubao does his rounds, making toasts, interacting with guests, the text says he treats Qing Yaojin, Shengdai, Shenxi, Bao Bao De very lightly or thinly, superficially. No warm greeting, no offer of extra wine, clearly no recognition, or if there's a flicker, he doesn't think this crude guy warrants the effort of real conversation. Shubao's judging him purely on his current appearance and rough demeanor.
And you can just feel Yaojin simmering over there. He's claiming this deep connection, this childhood friendship, yet the great Qin Shubao, the man he supposedly grew up with, is basically giving him the cold shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's Yu Junda, his table mate, who really turns the screw.
Yeah, Yu Junda, probably fueled by a bit of wine, starts poking at Yaojin, needling him. He basically accuses Yaojin of lying about their connection, says, how could you possibly be Tongzizi Jiao, childhood friends who made a pact, if Shubao was treating you so dismissively? He uses Shubao's coldness as proof that Yaojin's making it all up. And that accusation questioning his honesty, his identity, his past, that's what finally pushes Yaojin over the edge.
He becomes violently anxious, the text says. And then we get that incredible, almost cinematic detail about his outburst.
Yes, Yaojin just explodes. He lets out this shout, and the description is amazing. It sounds like spring thunder. It's not just loud. It's a sound that cracks through the polite murmur of the banquet. It shatters the formality of the entire room. He's refusing to be ignored, refusing to be dismissed based on perceived status or crudeness.
And the line itself, the actual words that's the key, right? The line that cuts through everything, all the hierarchy, all the noise, what is it?
He yells out,
Taiping Lang,
Taiping Lang, why are you so arrogant, so haughty today?
Taiping Lang, the milk name. Wow, that's like an immediate, visceral shock, total pattern interrupt.
It is the ultimate social shortcut, isn't it? It's that piece of intensely personal, non-transferable information. Only someone who knew you intimately, way back when you were a kid, could possibly know and use your milk name like that in public. Shuao's instantly stunned. He stands up, demanding, Who just used my city name, my milk name? And the other friends, they just erupt. They burst out laughing, partly at the shock, partly delighted by this sudden drama and this secret nickname being revealed.
And once again, who steps in to kind of manage the chaos? Jia Runfu.
Good old Jia Runfu, the facilitator. He identifies the shouter. That was Cheng Ziji.
Okay.
Right. And now that the name is out there, Shubao walks over. He looks closely at Yaojin. Really looks. And you can imagine the gears turning, the physical memory starting to click. He asks him, where do you live? And Yaojin, just overcome with emotion now, relief maybe, he kneels down right there. He reveals himself fully. Little brother is Cheng Yilang from Banjingian.
Ah, that's it. The emotional peak of the whole dinner. All that tension built up before, the shame about the clothes, the fuss over seating, the misjudgment, the cold shoulder. It's all just completely dissolved by this one single piece of intimate shared history.
It truly is the perfect synthesis of everything we've seen in this scene. Think about it. Shubao, who suffered the indignity of being judged by his appearance, was just moments before guilty of judging someone else based on their rough appearance. But that shared memory, the undeniable proof held in that childhood name, Taiping Lang, it just obliterates all the current social barriers. Status, wealth, refinement, none of it matters anymore. It instantly restores the true relationship beneath the surface. Shubao immediately kneels down too, recognizing his long-lost brother. Which leads perfectly to that little summary poem, doesn't it? Separated since childhood, unknown after many springs. No wonder we didn't recognize each other. Now you're both adults. Recognition, finally.
And the novel is super clear about their connection. They were Cui Tiaoshangyu.
Childhood friends. Grew up playing together, basically family.
Yeah, that's why Shubao's mother missed Yaojin's mother. That closeness is established, and it's why he's invited to this very intimate family celebration.
But the text signals right away, doesn't it? This isn't just some happy reunion. Yaojin looks different. Shockingly different.
Oh, completely. The description is pretty striking. Blue-faced, fang-toothed, red hair, yellow beard. It's almost monstrous.
And that's not just like a random detail, is it?
No. It explicitly says this look comes from consuming elixirs from an extraordinary person. So he's literally transformed from a normal kid into this formidable, almost mythic figure.
It reflects a huge change in his life path. A path definitely outside the official world Shubao's in.
Precisely, setting up the collision course. But interestingly, the initial tension in the scene isn't even about the crime yet. It's actually about Shubao himself, his physical state.
Right. While everyone's celebrating, he's clearly uncomfortable. He's sitting kind of awkwardly on the side, not facing Shan Jiangxin squarely like before. He's in pain.
And we know why. He was recently subjected to state violence. He broke the skin from a beating. The source calls it a consequence of a comparison, a mijijo.
So his discomfort is this constant physical reminder of his job, the pressure, the failure he's feeling. He's literally hurting because of his role as an officer.
Yeah, he's paying the price for working within this system.
But the irony is just thick, because Cheng Yaojin, who the text calls a kurin,
a coarse person, basically, rough around the edges.
He sees Shubao frowning in pain and totally misreads it. He accuses him of becoming a snob, thinks he dislikes the poor and loves the rich.
It's incredible, isn't it? He thinks the successful official is too high and mighty now to drink with his old, maybe rougher friend.
The ultimate miscommunication. One guy's wincing from state-inflicted wounds, the other thinks he's being snubbed.
So you've got this class tension, the physical pain, all just simmering under the surface of this birthday party. And then Jia Runfu, the host, does something.
Yeah, this really ramps things up. He sends away all the servants, the managers, and he locks the doors from the outside. Put the doors on the lock, it says.
And suddenly everyone gets it. They're sealed in. This isn't just a party anymore. It's something else. Something dangerous.
That action basically forces the issue. Shen Jianshan asked the key question. Why is Qin Shubao inconvenienced? Why the pain?
And bam! The whole weight of the political situation, the crime, it all comes crashing down onto the table.
It all starts with this massive royal project, right? The new emperor's building the eastern capital palace, Dongdu Gongdian.
Huge undertaking, needs massive funding. And the Shandong provinces, where they are, were ordered to cough up 3,000 taels of silver.
Which never made it. It was stolen, intercepted at Chanji Forest.
And crucially, the official escorting the silver wasn't just robbed, he was killed.
So, not just theft, grand theft plus murder. A capital crime.
Absolutely. And here's the detail that sets up Shubao's whole mess. The robbers gave false names at the scene, Chen Da and Yu Jin.
Okay, so that's the potential loophole for Shubao later. But right now it doesn't help him much. The case gets dumped on Qi Prefecture, his desk.
Exactly. So that brightly glittering golden belt, his symbol of success, it's now directly tied to his failure to solve this case.
And he's already suffered for it. That beating we mentioned, the Da Huailei. He's hurt.
And he's under immense pressure. Governor Liu has given him a deadline. Capture these guys, Chen Da and Yu Jin, or replace the 3,000 taels yourself.
By when?
The 24th day of the 9th month. Very specific. If he fails, he gets shipped off to the eastern capital to answer to the powerful Yuan Sikong.
So his whole career is basically hanging by a thread because of this one case. And just as everyone's maybe starting to process this, before any strategy can form.
It blows up. Yu Junda, another friend there, tries to be subtle. He pinches Cheng Yaojin's leg under the table, like, shh, be quiet.
But Yao Jin, he's the Kuran, right?
Of course, man. He is not subtle. Instead of getting the hint, he yells, stops the pinching, and just blurts it all out. The bombshell confession.
What does he say exactly?
He basically shouts, it was Cheng Yaojin and Yu Junda. It was me and Yu Daj who did it.
Oh my God. Just like that. If Yu Junda was trying to signal him not to talk, why confess so loudly? Is it just bravado? Or impulse?
It's mostly impulse, that coarse nature. But remember, he's also still stinging from being accused of snobbery earlier. He feels misunderstood.
All right.
So instead of quiet words, he cuts through everything with this huge, explosive truth bomb, clears the air, his way.
And the reaction.
Total stunned silence. And the text says Qin Shubao's face turned yellow. He actually stands up. He makes this desperate attempt to salvage things. He tries to dismiss it, calls it Daihua foolish statement, says it's just a joke, Xian, to cheer him up because he's injured.
You're trying to put the genie back in the bottle, trying to keep that legal ambiguity alive with the false names.
Exactly. He's clinging to that technicality. But Yaojin feels his honor is questioned again. He won't let it be dismissed as a joke.
So he doubles down.
Oh, yeah. He shouts, it's no joke, and goes for proof. He reaches into his pouch and pulls out 10-tael ingot of silver.
No.
Yes. And not just any silver. Yanzu official silver, Yanzu Guanyin, tangible evidence from the robbery.
But why did he even have that on him?
Unbelievably. He brought it as a birthday gift for Shubao's mother.
Wow. Okay. Using stolen government money as a family gift, that's something. But what does Shubao do? This is the moment.
It is. He doesn't argue, doesn't lecture. He just silently takes the silver ingot and slips it into his sleeve.
Right there. That's the choice, isn't it? Before any warrant burning.
Absolutely. That silent act. Concealing the evidence. He's already crossed the line. He's gone from officer to essentially accomplice. That weight of his future is now physically hidden in his clothing.
Okay, so that action kind of shifts the focus, the burden, onto Shen Jianshan. He's the host, the honest broker here.
And he voices the paralysis everyone feels. He says he's caught between two impossible positions, Liang Xiazuo and none. It's hard to act, basically.
What are the two sides for him?
Well, first, his duty to Shubao and their brotherhood. If he lets Shubao arrest Sheng Yaojin and Yu Junda, it breaks their oath. This deep Shitongsheng Sihuannan oath facing life, death, and hardship together. But he also fears Shubao will be executed if he doesn't produce the robbers or the money. On the other hand, Yaojin and Junda are his guests. He personally invited them for the birthday, handing them over. He asks, How can my heart be at ease? It destroys his honor as a host.
It's completely impossible. A total not. So what does he suggest? Does he have a plan?
He tries for a compromise, a pragmatic way out. He proposes a banriquansian, a half-day extension.
Meaning?
Finish the birthday celebration, let Yaojin and Jinda slip away quietly. Then later, Shubao can pretend to discover their location in Wunan village, surround it with troops.
And then what? A fake fight?
Not exactly fake. He says the outcome of the fight, the Shangfudashi, should just be left to fate. Let them battle it out.
That sounds like the kind of heroic workaround you sometimes see. It gives everyone a bit of cover, saves Shubao's job, maybe his life, gives the outlaws a chance.
It's the logical self-preservation move. It's the only way to maybe salvage that Golden Belt career.
So why doesn't Shubao take it?
Because, fundamentally, evasion like that, even for survival, goes against the code, the Haoji Code of Honor.
Right.
Qin Shubao just flat out rejects it. He basically tells Yuanqing that suggesting such a thing looks down on the world. It's beneath them. It's dishonorable.
Wow. So he's choosing honor over survival, over his career right there.
Absolutely. He confirms his commitment to righteousness, to Yi. He says point blank, I have no reason to arrest them. Meyunata erenzi li.
And his reasoning.
Their childhood bond, the fact they're guests for his mother's birthday, that sanctity overrides the state's law for him. Brotherhood first.
Okay, so the decision is made. The compromise is rejected. Now comes the act that seals it. The act that makes him legendary.
He's made his choice. Now he has to destroy the symbol, the instrument of his old life, his official duty. He pulls out the actual arrest warrant, the Yingbupi.
From his document pouch. It's right there.
And here's that technicality again. He looks at it, maybe shows it around. He confirms the only names on it are the false ones, Chenda and Nijin.
So technically, he could still argue his way out. He could say, my warrant was for Chenda and Yujin. These guys are Cheng Yaojin and Yujunda, different people. Can't arrest them.
He absolutely could have. He could have used that loophole, kept the warrant, maybe saved his career, played it smart within the system.
So why burn it if he has that out? Why the dramatic destruction?
Because the goal isn't just legal escape anymore. It's about moral commitment, absolute loyalty. Hiding the warrant leaves the threat alive. Using the loophole is clever, maybe, but it's not a full embrace of the outlaw code.
That's not Yi.
Exactly. To truly pledge himself to his friends, to the Haoji way, he has to obliterate the law's claim on them. Publicly. Finally.
And he does. The text says he tears it into powdered fragments before anyone can stop him.
Yeah, it mentions Li Xuansui and Chai Si-cheng try to intervene, maybe grab it from him, save him from himself, but he's too fast.
Tears it up.
And throws the pieces onto the lamp, burns the whole thing. On the lamp, it was burned, gone.
That physical act. Destroying the official document. It's like declaring war on his old life, on the bureaucracy. Goodbye, Golden Belt.
It's the ultimate rejection. And the narrator seals it, right? Since the flame burned the warrant, his generous reputation spread throughout the world.